Before we get started here, I want to remind everyone to please hit that like button and share this video on whatever social media you have. Since this is a restricted channel, you're the only chance we have to overcome YouTube's anti-2A bias and discrimination. Damn it. I am a grown-ass man. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Merca Guns and Freedom Podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just an open chat between myself and my viewers. This is where you can come and ask me any question, suggest any topic, doesn't have to be gun related. If you want me to answer something or you want to hear my opinion on something, feel free to bring something up. I will do my best to answer everything. If it's something technical that I don't know the answer to, I just don't know it. Or if you're asking me about experience with something that I've never had any experience with, pay attention to the live chat. I might not have the answers, but someone out there will, and they'll be more than happy to tell you. So pay attention and participate. Chat amongst yourselves. You don't even have to pay attention to me if you don't want to. So go ahead, talk. But otherwise, like I said, feel free, ask me whatever you want. It could be about guns, comics, cars, etc. We'll talk about whatever. We lean more guns, but we'll do whatever. I like to start every chat by reading the names of people that have bought merchandise. And today, we got some people that bought some. We got Christopher Gleason. He bought a Knights of Pew Vagabond tumbler. I don't sell a lot of tumblers. I forgot we even make that, but Christopher Gleason got that. Brian Adams, he bought like a shit ton of magnets here and a couple mugs. He's going crazy on the magnets and the mugs. But thanks to him, he got a whole bunch of stuff. He got the Willie Bruce car magnet. These are all car magnets, so they're the big 5x5 magnets. But you can put them on anything, you're safe or whatever. I like them for safes because they butt right together because they're 5x5 squares. Got the Where's the Kaboom? Oh, Why the Dinosaurs Went Extinct. I'd already forgotten I did that one. Remember, he's got the T-Rex. He's standing there and he's concealed carrying and he's got his holster appendix. So there's all kinds of them. I'd forgotten I'd done. He got the Weed and Guns. So thanks to him for buying all them magnets. Michael Stimets also ordered something. What'd he get? He got a Guns Don't Kill People t-shirt and a magnet, Mickey Mouse. So thanks to him also. And then we got John Heasley here who purchased a Fuck Your Red Flag Laws Eeyore shirt. It's one with Eeyore and he's got his little shotgun. He's like, fuck your red flag laws. So thanks to them for buying merchandise. It looks like everybody today supported TYMT and TYMPPP and Pets and Vets and Handguns for Heroes because we didn't sell any toy guns for Tots merch. But thanks to those people for helping support the channel. Remember, if you want to help support the channel, go on over to my website and I'll put a link in the upper corner and you can see it right here. If you go to the website, the first thing you're going to see is a way to donate to Toy Guns for Tots. We do this every year. We try to make it bigger every year. We try to help as many kids as possible who want toy guns for Christmas get them because most charities won't. So we step in and take care of it. And we've distributed guns, I know, as far as Alabama with the distributor we pair with. So please go over and donate to that if you can. You can also get it. You get entries into the drawings if you donate $20. And we'll be giving away some nice stuff this year, probably a case of ammo, one of the Bond arms to the top donator with a little special engraving on it. And we might be giving away, I don't know what the main prize is going to be yet. It might be a FK Burno. It might be something else. That might be a little too weird. People might not want that because you can't really get ammo for it anymore and all this other stuff. But we'll see. Might think of something else. But you can get entries through there, donate through there, or you can go down here to Yankees Swag Bag Bonanza and you click on that. You go over to my Shopify page, and the first store you're going to see is Toy Guns for Tots. You can buy shirts, mugs, ornaments, etc. Go ahead and get some of those, and some of the ornaments, like the ornament here, is something you can give to people because it's got a donation has been made in your behalf to Toy Guns for Tots 2025. So they get a gift that says you gave a toy gun to a kid for Christmas in their name, and they get that feeling, and you get the entry into the drawing. So go over and get yourself several of those. There's also a mug like that you can get, make little gift baskets out of. And right now, there's a third way if you want to donate to the Toy Guns for Tots and actually maybe win something. I'm giving away a set of custom lock grips with the Venom logo on them here, and they got an orange liner. These fit the CZ75, 85, and it doesn't say it right there. Maybe if I refresh, hold on. Yes, CZ75, 85, and SPO1 grips from Lock Grips. All you have to do is donate $5 or more to Toy Guns for Tots. You will receive 1 entry for $5, 3 for $10, and 7 entries for $20, as well as an entry into the normal Toy Guns for Tots drawing. Drawing will be held on the 8th of November, 2025, live chat on my channel. So tomorrow. So if you want to get entries and get these, go over and donate $5 through the link right here. Make sure you use this link so that I know you're shooting for these. If you used the other link and didn't use that one, let me know so I can write you down for the drawing. But also over there, if you don't want to help Toy Guns for Tots, you just want to help the channel, you can buy any merchandise you want. That supports the other programs we run, Toy Guns for Pets and Vets and others. Or you can become a Patreon member, subscribe star member. You can also sign up for TYMP and nominate someone for Handguns for Heroes over there. With that being said, let's get to the drawings today. Not the drawings, the questions. The drawings at the end for the knife, if we get enough people. Which I should have mentioned. That you donate, you get. Well, I already mentioned it. People will know. People who are here know. They know. If I got to tell them, they don't. As if I got to tell them, I should say. All right, let's get over here to the regular page. I want to say a special thank you to Ashley Smith, who donated to the Toy Guns for Tots, made a very generous donation today, and made me happy, because sometimes when we get into the day and we don't have any donations, I feel depressed because we ain't made no money for Toy Guns for Tots. But she donated. Seems like every day someone steps up and stops me from covering myself in honey and walking out into the bears. And we do have bears right here in our yard, so I could do it if I wanted to, so don't tempt me. Jared Levin also donated, and so did Christopher Grove, also donated, although I think he might have wanted a chance at the grips, but he didn't denote that. Daniel Pennant chimed in and said, tithing to Philip. It's not Philip. Did I win the lever gun? I need some Christmas stuff. Thinking about getting into guns. Any opinions? I don't get into guns. They're addictive. You should, if you have never started, don't start. It's horrible. Plus, if you don't buy them, that leaves more for the rest of us. So, but no, a Soulless Ginger won the lever gun. Because it was one of those times where you put in the number and it comes in like, you do a number between like 1 and 70 and it comes in like 4. So like the person who got the first little group of things wins. So it pays to get in early sometimes. Colin Griffin chimed in. Griffith, not Griffin. Hail Phil, question for a Yankee. When you personally aiming at something with pistol, iron sights, or something 25 plus yards, do you typically sight focus on or target focus? Well, I don't really have a choice. I can't see things at a distance. So I usually sight focus over the blur. That's why I like red dots, because I can't adjust my vision that quickly. If I'm already walking around, I said that backwards. I can't see things up close. So my vision is focused out at distance. I have to put the blurry sights over the target because my eyes can't readjust up close that quickly. That's why I like red dots, because I can still look through it and focus on the target, and the little dot is still in focus for me. I should answer my questions properly the first time. But, when they're complicated answers, I sometimes get them backwards. But yes, my vision, it's like if I go I can focus on things close up for a while or to a degree. I can't get real close anymore. But like if I am reading a book, like if I'm sitting in a store, like Barnes and Nobles or something, reading a book, and I'm like, I'm my car's ready because I'm usually like waiting on my car to get an oil change or something. I'll close the book up, put it back, sit it down, and go to stand up walk. I'll be like, I can't see shit because all I can see is like right here. I can't see anything beyond me. It's just a big fuzzy blur. It takes me like probably 10 minutes for my vision to adjust back to distance. So it's like when I'm driving, I can see what's in front of me, not in the dashboard so much, but I can see what's in front of me. And at distance, things are blurry for me too. I can't like make out street signs at a distance anymore like I used to be able to, but my vision is best at probably like 10 to 30 yards, in that range. And beyond that, it's blurry. Up close, it's very blurry. Probably a lot of people my age have that problem, though. Who was it just asked me that? That was Colin Griffin just asked me that. Stephen Sharp, who ain't that sharp, obviously, because he used the wrong link to make his donation to Toy Guns for Tots. He said, for some booger eaters to have a better Christmas, less 40 cal, a conspiracy. I think it is a conspiracy, to be honest. I think you're right. I think it's a conspiracy to not have us good rounds. The government's like, well, we can't take our guns away. Let's just make sure they've only got rounds that ain't going to hurt nobody if we go after them. Get them all on 9mm. That way, if we ever go raid their houses, all we got to do is wear like, a thick jacket and they won't be able to get us. Or a hockey mask, you'll be safe. Yes, my dad has those vision issues and you guys are about the same age. Fuck you. I never liked you anyway. Not old enough to be these people here's dads. Although my kids are all adults, I guess. So, and I had them relatively late. I adopted them relatively late in life. I was already what, 40? Of course, they were 6 or 5 and 11. So that'd been like me having kids when I was 30. But that's still kind of late. My mom had me at 15. Well, I turned 15 2 months after I was born, or 2 months before I was born. So right at 15. What was we talking about? Where were we at? Let me get back to the chat. I don't know what's going on. George Powell chimed in and said, for being a good-hearted person that is honest and tells it like it is, the Dems just have to agree to kick 20 million U.S. citizens off health care. The attempt to deny SNAP should be enough evidence. It is. I mean, you can't say it's the Democrats' fault that people aren't getting their food stamps when the courts are saying you already have the money allocated for food stamps, spend it. And the Trump administration is saying we don't want to because we like to use this as leverage. So that's them saying it's worth Americans starving for us to have political leverage. There's no question who's not getting them food stamps because the money's there. It's been allocated. So where's the money if they don't have it? That would be a better question. Where's the fucking money if you don't have it? That was George Powell. Sean Bain chimed in and said, for whatever fundraiser you want. Well, since you did it through here and I don't have to do any special stuff, if I put it to Pets and Vets, it's going to go to Pets and Vets because I don't want to have to write down something else I got to switch over. People are giving me too much homework and we'll get a headache. When I think too hard, I get a headache. Donald Google got 3 entries into the grip giveaway. I haven't seen Donald Googly Goo in a while, but he's obviously out there. He got some entries into the grip giveaway. Michael C3PO chimed in and said, long time no chat. Yes. Nice beard. Please do not forget not to shave. I'm going to shave soon. I don't like this. I don't like having a beard. It's itchy. It gets food in it. I eat a lot of apples, so it's sticky a lot of the time. Because it's hard to eat an apple without getting it sticky. Now, I could cut the apple up and eat the apple cut up, but I only usually do that if I've made some caramel or something, boiled down some sweetened condensed milk and made caramel out of it. Then I'll cut the apples up and dip them. But that's not good for me. So I don't do that often. And a cut up apple is not as good as eating an apple the regular apple way. It's just not as good for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Makes for a much better photo op for toy guns for Tots, Santa Claus, and all. It does do that. It does look better for toy guns for Tots. So maybe I'll wait and not say shave till after, but I can't promise because I fucking hate it. I don't want to look like a lot of people grow beards online to look like an operator. I don't have any desire to look like an operator. It's kind of like saying, look at me, I'm not very smart. Use all your brain power you can muster. What gun, model, make, and caliber is essential for any true collector to have? Collector. You're not saying just a citizen, just like somebody who wants to exercise their Second Amendment rights, because that makes a big difference. Because there's a big difference between people who collect and people who just have tools. If you're going to collect, well, then the things you got to have. Now, model, I'm not really so tied to the model, but something along the lines of a Smith & Wesson 686 plus Magnum, 357 Magnum, preferably 7-shot. So it could be a GP 100, a Taurus, a Smith & Wesson, but you got to have a 357 Magnum revolver. I also think any true collector should have a PPK. If you don't have a PPK, then I question your dedication to guns. So, and a Beretta. If you don't have a Beretta, I really question your dedication to firearms. Let's see, that didn't take a lot of brain power. My head's not even hurting. My eyes not twitching. Joe Pearson chimed in and said, oh, I just read that. That was Joe Pearson just asked that question. Let's try to go to the same one again. Stephen Sharp chimed in again. And this time he went over to the Toy Guns for Tots and got an entry into the grip giveaway. So he used the right link this time. So look at that. He's learning. Johnny Mandrick. He got a lot of entries. He got 7 entries into the grip giveaway. Yankee, I'm not dead yet. I think, what do you think is the right distance to sight a carry self-defense gun? It depends on what you think your most likely situation is. Are you in big public places a lot, open spaces, or are you more in rural spaces where it's even longer distances between stuff, or are you somewhere where you're up close and personal all the time? It could anywhere between, 15 and 30 yards for your personal self-defense gun. But it could be, if you say 50, because you're like, I'm at the mall a lot and I want to be able to shoot at distance if I have to save somebody or have a better chance of hitting somebody before they get close to me. I'd be like, okay, makes sense to me. So it's really going to come down to your own personal situation and your own personal preferences and the things that you think are most likely to be a situation you're going to face. Are you going to need to shoot at distance? Are you going to need to shoot up close? And then Johnny Mandrick got a few entries into the grip giveaway. And I think that's it for all the super chats over here. Now we got some over here on the YouTube side. George Powell says, I thought the brown looked great. Kind of gave me a Han Solo vibe, although I'm not sure why. Yeah, I think his holster is black. So I don't know where you got the Han Solo. I mean, I don't hate brown holsters, but I didn't order brown. I ordered black. I don't wear a brown belt. I always wear either a gray or a black belt. I don't wear brown belts. I'm not a big brown belt fan. Plus, I don't have any Crocs that match a brown belt. So, Daniel Pennant says, I'm here. What's new for the critters? Nothing new. My life don't change much. Now, don't let me make you sad for me by saying that. Don't be like, poor old Yankee. He just sits up there and doesn't go anywhere or do anything, because that's by choice. I have everything I need right here on my 5-6 acres. My dogs are here. My family's here. My cars are here. My stuff is here. My guns are here. I've got a range. I don't really have a need to go anywhere. The only time I have a desire to go somewhere is if I'm going to the gun shop or the hardware store, or if we need food and we're out of food and I can't get anybody else to go get it. That's the only time I really leave. And to mail stuff. And I hate leaving to mail stuff. I might go tomorrow and mail the axe. So I might go to the gun shop tomorrow too, because I got some money to spend. So I might be shopping because I got my tax refund. Woohoo. I got it quick too. I filed in October because I filed late because I filed October 15th and I didn't even notice it. Didn't know it gone in there until I saw it the other day. It went in like probably 10 days after I filed, electronic filed. So that was nice. That was it was less than I thought it was going to be because I forgot they take out the money for the turbo tax and stuff comes out of the refund. So it was like $250 less than I thought it was going to be, but still it was like $1,500. Plus I have the money from selling that 2011. And I got to replace it. I haven't replaced it yet. Although right now, I don't know if I'm going to buy anything anytime soon because I like to wait till we get through all these fundraisers first in case I have to kick in something for prizes or something. So I might wait a little while. Sean Bain says, right eye had a hemorrhage in it. No questions tonight. Oh, that's not good. You're right. I had a hemorrhage in it. Well, you can still see, hopefully. You just look gross. But that's at our age, we look gross anyway. So something like a burst blood vessel in our eye or something, that gives us character. It's like, yeah, look the freak. Instead of just like, old man, ignoring. Yeah, I want the attention. Even if it's got to be a freak, I want the attention. I was afraid my Bell's palsy was coming back the other night. I was twitching. I was like, oh no, tomorrow I'm going to have Bell's palsy again. But the next day it's fine. I don't know what's going on. But hope your eye gets better. Lead on Steel says, if you decide to trade in the Mustang, time to step up to a BMW M car or Mercedes AMG. Thanks for the live stream. I can't afford either one of those. You see how much the M cars are? You know, you're starting in the 70s. Same thing for, well, some of the AMGs are relatively inexpensive, like the 4-cylinder ones. But have you been in one of the recent ones that are the cheaper ones? They're creaky. And the plastic feels cheap, and because I've been in some. But, don't ask me why I was in some Mercedes. Ladies got to have her secrets. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I could possibly spring for like the M lights, basically, like the M440i. It's not really a full M car, but plus I like the all-wheel drive, and a lot of the M cars are just rear-wheel drive. So the M lights, like the M240, that'd be a cool little car to have. Now that one I could probably about afford, the M240. M340 might be nice, but I like the M440. If I was going to get one, probably be the M440, which is kind of like the Mustang of the BMWs. So it wouldn't be much of a change. But then again, I also like the X4s. So maybe the M, whatever they're called. But yeah, I do like them. I like them. People like BMWs. I love BMW. They drive great. I like Audis. They drive great. So, I'm all for that German engineering. I love it. My son's got an Audi. He's got an S5. That thing's awesome. Awesome. Michael C3PO says, don't worry, nobody will think you're an operator. You don't know. Some people might think so. What if it was like one of the first videos they ever watched of mine, and I was saying something very operator-y? Like I was like, I'm going to stick my gun in my waistband and point it at my dick. Then I'm going to run around and buy my t-shirts way too small, get a bunch of tattoos, take testosterone replacement, and then die of cancer. That would sound very operatory. Where are we at? Clinton Barella chimed in. And said, need a recommendation for a good 686 plus holster going to outside waistband carry this winter under my long coat. If you, boy, that was clear and to the point, wasn't it? If you want something inexpensive, go on YouTube, get yourself an Azula holster. I don't think you'll be disappointed in it, especially if you just go carry it for the winter. Awesome. If you want to spend a little more, go get yourself a 1791. Those are freaking awesome. Thick holsters, just really nicely made. The Azulas aren't as thick, but they do use a double band at the top and all this other stuff, so they're good. So either if you want to save a little money, go get yourself an Azula. If you want to spend a little more, not even much more, it's just like, tiny bit more, get you a 1791. You can't go wrong with those. That was Clinton Barella, and you can stand under his Barella. Ryan Sal Savage made a donation to Toy Guns for Tots, and he used the right link and everything. Unless, of course, he wanted entries into the grip drawing, and then he used the wrong link. But otherwise, he actually used the right link. He went over and did it on the website, etc. So good for him. All right, that looks like all the super chats for now. Let me get over to the emails. We got some emails over here. Edgar Cortez. Wait. Oops, hold on. I guess maybe his holster was brown in that one. That looks like that's from. What is that from? I don't look like. I guess maybe it's episode 4. It almost looks like he's wearing blue jeans. Oh, why am I not showing the picture? I'm just sitting here talking about something, but not showing it. The share screen, Winder, boom. Here, George Powell said, "There's the brown," and there's right, it's brown. So maybe it does have Han Solo vibes, but I don't have any brown holsters. Especially don't have a brown drop leg holster. Let's see here. Make sure I got all the emails opened so that I can go through them here. I think so now. A nominal snowman says, can you explain the appeal of the big ADV bikes, 1200s, African Twin, Tenier, KTM, 1290, etc.? I had a DR 650, enough capacity to moto camp, capable of running 70 on the highway, heavy but not overkill off-road. Why do people buy 100 plus horsepower, 450 plus pound off-road ADV bikes? How horsepower is overkill off-road, too heavy for anything other than dirt roads, and unstable on over 100 mile per hour anyway. I can't wrap my head around it. Sell me on it, former car salesman. Well, I won't, because I don't recommend them for most people who actually want to do heavier off-roading. Like if you're going to be running down railroad tracks or up hills, I don't ever recommend anything bigger than a 650. Like I always had a KLR 650. That was as big as you'd go. And that was limited what you could do with it off-road. But you could still go up a hill if you had to. You could still ride down the railroad tracks if you wanted to. And it would still do just fine on the highway. It'd do even better if you got moderate tires on the highway. But the people who buy the great big one, the big adventure bikes, these are overlanders. They're not dirt bike riders. They're people that are going to go maybe where the roads ain't paved, but they're still roads. They're going to go on the dirt roads and the, out in the country, or maybe across the savannah, like the name Africa, the African or whatever. So that's what those people are buying those bikes for. And you notice they don't hardly ever have like heavy duty knobbies on them. They've got like dual purpose tires always, because these are people that are going to be using the highway to get to the dirt roads and then taking the dirt roads until they get back on the highway. So that's what they want. They want a car or a bike that is good on the highway, but they can still hit those dirt roads. Because if you've ever tried to take a gold wing on a dirt road or in sand, light sand on the road or anything, you understand why you don't want to do that. But those bikes can still hit the dirt road, the hard packed roads, things like that. Go over established trails, that might be like a walking trail that goes over hills, but they're still good hard packed trails. They'll handle those, but they're not going to handle like loose dirt or sand or anything like that. If you want loose dirt, sand, stuff like that, you're going to want like a 350, 500 maybe, 650 max. And even I say that because the 650 gets heavy enough that if you fall on it, you can really break your leg pretty easily and have a hard time getting it up. So I don't do a lot of that. Like if you live somewhere where there's high desert or hard packed trails somewhere, then those are fine. And if you're going to be driving 100 miles on the highway to get there, they're fine, but they're not dirt bikes. Maria Perez, this is from Edgar Cortez. Maria Perez, a 32-year-old mother of four, was cleaning houses in Indiana and went to the wrong house. The owner fired his gun through the door and struck her, killing her instantly. Her husband was standing next to her. The World News host reporter stated that the homeowner might not be charged. This makes no sense to me. It might have been a cop, a kid, a neighbor who might have been at the door. Yeah, I think you should definitely be charged. If you just fired through the door because someone's on your doorstep and they didn't do anything aggressive other than like knock or ring your bell, yeah, you should definitely be charged. That's ridiculous. It might have been, okay, this seems like manslaughter to me. Your thoughts? Yes, it should be manslaughter. And not even involuntary. You did it voluntarily. Phenomenal Snowman says, since everyone has a Glock and AR now, and you have a 3D engraver, you could do Glock backing plates or AR dust covers with some logo. I probably could if I wanted to. Be a lot of work. I have to make a little template for, or a little jig for it. Like the get fucked or smile and wait for flight. Yeah, I don't like those things. I wouldn't do that. My stuff, I don't ever do that hardcore, I'm a badass bullshit. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Like, why would anyone go around and advertise stuff like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. Frank Rodriguez says, Virginia teacher who was shot by a 6-year-old student is awarded $10 million in a civil lawsuit. From the 6-year-old? He's going to have to mow a lot of lawns. Edgar Cortez says, how much money have we raised so far for toy guns for Tots? I don't know. I haven't added it all up yet. Today makes the 1 week. I usually add it up after a week. So I'll probably add it up tonight, but right now I have no clue. We haven't done a lot the last couple of days because I haven't done another video yet. I do a video at the beginning and then I do another one kind of like halfway through and then I do another one towards the end so that I don't oversaturate people, but I haven't counted everything yet. Nominal Snowman says, have you ever used Gun Tab? I'm using it for the first time for a gun broker buy. Wish me luck. Also, what do you think of wooden bolt knobs like on the CZ600 Lux? I don't think anything of them, to be honest. I don't know that I've ever had one, but other than that, I don't barely think anything of them. And I don't know what Gun Tab is. I have no clue what. So I'm guessing I probably haven't used it since I don't know what it is. That would probably be a good bet, I would think, that I don't know what the fuck it is. All right. Now we got one more email here. Hold on. I got to share this one. He sent pictures with this one. That's a nominal snowman. He's bugging the shit out of me today. He sent a bunch of stuff. Okay. He sent, this is the picture of the stock. He told us he spent so much money on the other day, and I wanted to see the stock and I wanted to see the blemish. There's the stock. Okay, I can see where maybe you would be willing to pay that much money for that, but I probably wouldn't. And there's the blemish. It looks like it's a little bit of nicking along the backside there. Well, I'd fix that. You could fix that, have it re-blued, whatever finish they put on it. You'd probably just have it refinished. They'd probably just fix it and then take that little piece out and refinish all of that in the same color. But that wouldn't be hard to fix. You just have to sand a little on the front and sand a little on the side. Sand a little on the front. Sand it wouldn't even be noticeable. Because I bet it's a little rounded off anyway. Yeah, it's a little rounded off anyway, so it wouldn't be hard to make that, get that out there. It'd take 20 minutes probably to fix that. I'd have to fix it. You might be able to live with it. I mean, you obviously live with lots of things that ain't quite right, so you might be able to handle it, but I'm a perfectionist. I would have to fix it. Let's see where we're at here. I think that got us all caught up with the emails and the super chats. Yes, we are all caught up with the emails and the super chats. Let me get over to the live chat over here. Wait a second. I missed a couple over here. Daniel Pennant used his 29-month member chat to say the holster in your video had a lot of trigger gap. Glad you returned it. Well, I ain't returned it yet. But all you got to do is cover the front of the trigger. You don't got to cover the space behind it. Space behind the trigger, hey, I still got it. It's still right in there, though. Still right in there. I ain't sent it back yet. I just got the tag from it. So, where am I at? But yeah, it doesn't matter if it doesn't cover the trigger 100% in the backside. As long as it's covered in the front side, you're fine. Boom, 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 do 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 do. All right, let's get back over to the question. Oh, I didn't get finished over here yet. Daniel Pennant also said, if Glock made a perfect 38 Super, would you get it? No, because those two words don't go together. Perfect 38 Super. It's like saying dry water. It doesn't make sense. Sean Bain said, right eye is the bad eye, just hurts. Yeah, that sucks. Well, it's still, does it look freaky though? Does it all red? Because that's what you want. You want that red. You want people to know. You want people to think maybe you've been in a fight. Like, so don't fuck with me. I'll do to you what I did to the last person. Let's get over here to the live chat now. Let's see if there's anything coming in and see if I can go back up far enough to get to all of them. Tesla, I read that already. Tesla approved $1 trillion package for Musk. I'm like, how's Tesla still got that kind of money? Because their sales are in the toilet and their resale is horrible. And you can't even insure the trucks. So how are they still doing great? Seems like it's a scam somehow. They're highly overvalued. How is a company that sells a tenth as many trucks as Ford worth, or as tenth as many vehicles as Ford worth 1,000 times more money? Just doesn't make sense. You missed my email about Underwood's Ammo's customer service. I didn't see. Oh, here it is right there. Have you ever had to deal with Underwood Ammo's customer service? They delivered me the wrong size shirt. I emailed them about it. It's been over 24 hours, still no response. No, I've never had to deal with their customer service, so I can't say anything about it. I've never had to, I never return ammo. They tend to always send me the right stuff. And I've never bought merch from them. I don't advertise other people's companies. So not for free. I like when people here, wear our stuff for free. No, thanks. According to Google, the grips fit CZ75, 85, SP01, and some shadow models. I put that on the website. What are your thoughts on caliber requirements for deer hunting? A lot of states allow 22356. I feel that's a little small. I know it will work, but there's better options. I would definitely go with something bigger myself, but that'll work just fine. I mean, especially if, like here, our deer are small. We got those little black-tailed deer. They're tiny. So that would take them out just fine. But I would want something that I can get a more assured first shot kill. Yeah, my dad has those visions issues, and you guys are about the same age. I read that earlier, and fuck him. You're old enough to be my dad. I am not old enough to be John Heasley's dad. I'd be fucking dead if I was old enough to be his dad. That's how, if you're wondering how old you have to be John Heasley's dad, dead. If it makes you feel any better, he was always one of the youngest parents out of all my friends' classmates. Mine was too. Everybody always thought my mom was my sister. She'd come to high school, like when I was 16 and in high school, she was 30, but she was very young looking because she's small. And guys would be like, your sister's hot. Your sister's got big titties. I'd be like, that's my mom. And even if it was my sister, I'm going to punch you in the face. And often my friends would get crushes on my mom, and it would piss me off. The turnout for the local food bank was the biggest anyone has ever seen here this week. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff on the news with lines for food banks, and I assume they're actually for food banks because they're actually, some of them are talking to them and stuff. I donated $500 to a food bank yesterday. I didn't. We did, and I got told about it. We donated $500 to the food bank. I'm like, okay. But I'd already sent $200 to West Virginia to buy groceries to cover for food stamp loss. I considered that was my share. That was my contribution. But we ended up spending another $500. Whatever distance OC spray reaches, 2 yards. OC spray will at least go 2 yards. It go more than that. Usually like 15 yards. Some of that stuff shoots 10, 15 yards, I think. I need to get me some good OC spray to carry. If I'm going to be going out anymore, which I don't hope not to, but I got to get some good bear spray in a small size that I can carry with me. In Port St. Lucie, a Florida man fired his Glock at 3 people over an argument about how many eggs a chicken can lay. Thankfully, he missed all 3 of them. Some people should not be carrying guns. I'm not the one to decide who can and can't, but hopefully but unfortunately, the people who shouldn't be are not the people that realize they shouldn't be. It's kind of like kids. The people who are least likely to be able to care for kids are the ones that are least likely to be self-aware enough to know that. Wendy's will be closing 300 of their restaurants in the U.S. Apparently, their surge pricing scheme to charge more for food at certain times was a huge flop. Well, grocery stores are still trying to implement that. That was one of the main reasons they wanted to go to the machines instead of cashiers, is because they wanted people not to notice. No one to talk to while they're doing it. Not notice that things were 3 cents more expensive at this time and 15 more at this time. But that was one of their big plans for that, and it's not working out so well for them. Surge pricing is just more corporate greed. The new policy where TSA lets you keep your shoes on is not an absolute. If your shoes set off the metal detector, then you have to remove them and put them through X-ray. I'm always wearing Crocs anyway when I fly, so I don't care if I got to take them off. I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to wear my Crocs. Now, the one thing I will do when I'm on a plane, to be respectful, I'll wear socks with my Crocs. So I don't look like a total loser. But and I'm not just got my feet out there. So I will wear socks with my Crocs. And I don't take them off when I'm flying. I leave them on. Don't take my shoes off on the plane. Well, it doesn't offend me if someone takes their shoes off on the plane, as long as they don't put their foot up on my armrest or something. And I haven't flown in a while, so I ain't worried about it. Had a hard time getting it up. You heard it here first. Well, I've said that many times. It's not getting it up. It's hard. It's just keeping it up keeping interest long enough. to make use of it. Even at my age, you start to watch porn halfway through, you think of something else, and next thing you know, you're looking up your insurance rates on your car instead of finishing watching the porn. Or, oh, did I pay that payment for our blah, blah, blah? You can't maintain the interest long enough to get anything done. Let's see, where are we at? She won that from the school. Oh, from the school? Well, in other words, she won it from the taxpayers. Good evening. I'm late. I forgot. Well, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear excuses. At the Yankee Marshal and chat, thoughts on a Kimber Micro 9? I want a small hammer-fired semi-auto, or maybe a different recommendation in the same vein. Well, the Micro 9s are fine. The 938s are fine from SIG. I don't know if they're still available or not, though. Some of those ones from Wilson Combat are pretty nice, too. But, yeah, they're fine. I got no problem with them. It's not my type of gun, but what is the benefit to have a 38 Super? None. No benefit whatsoever. Unless you live in Mexico, well, then there's a benefit because you can actually have it. But other than that, no, there's no benefit whatsoever. And I think we are out of questions. Let me make sure we got all the emails. We do. We got all the emails. Make sure we've got all of the super chats read and all the donations read. And entries, when people who bought merchandise read. Yes, John Heasley was the last one to buy merchandise. And the last super chat was from, I think, Ryan Salsavage. Let's make sure that's still the case. Hold on, it's loading. Yes, still Ryan Salsavage. And over here it was Sean Bain. So we're all caught up. We got everything answered. So thanks, everybody, for coming, especially those of you that donated to Toy Guns for Tots. Or Pets and Vets. And if you want entries into that grip drawing, make sure you get them tonight or tomorrow, because we're doing the drawing during the live chat tomorrow. So go on over to TYMPpistolproject.com and get the grips, get an entry into the grip thing, because we will do that tomorrow. And then I'll make some new ones and we'll do it again if we actually get some interest in it. Maybe I'll do a 1911 next or something, or a high power. I think I'm going to do a 1911 next. So I think I'm going to do the Millennium Falcon in 1911 grips. Then I'm going to do a Bigfoot one. But so go over and do it. But like I said, thanks everybody for participating, everybody for showing up, keeping the conversation going. I appreciate it. I'll see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Oh, wait, we got to do the drawing. Did we get enough for the drawing? Let me go over here and look. I got to count here. I said I would count the ones over here. So 1, 2, 3. 3 over there. And then this one was 1. I don't want to go through here and see which ones of these were actually. No, that's Toy Guns for Tots. So that wasn't 1. I don't want to have to go through all these and see which ones were Toy Guns for Tots and which ones were. So we're just going to say there was enough. And we will do the drawing here. Well, no, I got to know who's entered. So to the knife drawing. There's 1. All right. Clinton Barella. Paul Beidenbach. Joe Pearson, Stephen Sharp, George Powell, Colin Griffin, Daniel Pennant, I think that's Donald Google. No, he did. That was an entry into the Toy Guns for Tots. So, all right. We got enough. At least we're going to say we got enough. Let's do the drawing. Let me generate the number. And okay, now let's go over there. Let's go over there. And the winner is George Powell. George Powell won. So let me write that down. And George Powell, send me a email telling me which knife you want, the fixed blade or the folder, the Outdoorsman Light or the Big Honkin' Spartan. Let me know which one you want. And then I will get it sent out ASAP. Well, not ASAP. That would be tomorrow, but I ain't doing it tomorrow. Well, no, tomorrow the post office is closed. So it'd be Tuesday would be soonest. But George Powell, you are the winner. All right, I got it written down. Written down. All right, thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I will see you all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.